Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show, brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is the place to be for gaming news, covering all your content needs with in-depth reviews, gaming interviews, walkthroughs, and guides. Be sure to check out their featured Snack Chat Roundtable, where Shack News staff discusses their reaction to the new PlayStation 5 showcase. And remember, they are more than just articles over at Shack News, so be sure to watch their streams on Twitch as well. Asif and Blake are hosting some fantastic gaming content. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @ShackNews and at ShackNews.com.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I ain't no goddamn doctor.
Cut back by Chubb. He's to the 10. He's still running to the 5. He dips outside left. He's doing it. Touchdown. Away. Back to goal. Boom shakalaka. Big play is on fire. Reflog. It's some golfer backwards. Welcome to the Big Play Reflog Show. Today is Monday, September 21st, 2020. I am your host, Big Play Dave, alongside Mr. Chris McNeil. What's up, brother?
Hey, we had the Browns win, the Indians are winning, and it's hoodie season.
It is
Good time to be
definitely
alive.
hoodie
Good time to
season.
be alive.
And welcome back after a long hiatus. We have the one and only from Padone My Take, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Nick Padone, what's up, brother?
What's up? What's up? Yup, shorts and hoodie weather over here. I have the meanest growl fit in the history of growl fits going on right now, so happy to do this.
Nick, how was the drive to school today? For
it
no
was,
school.
It was a good one. It was a long 35-minute drive just to walk in and see that there was no class today and turn around and walk right back out and take the same 35-minute drive right back home. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that up and reminding me.
Oh, Chris, to be back at Miami.
Absolutely. Been there.
That's right. All right, we have a great show for you guys tonight. So we're going to kick it off with some Power Rank Monday. The top 3 most hated people in Cleveland. Going negative to start the show. After that, we're going to have our featured interview with radio host and columnist, native Ohioan, Cleveland sports fan Hugh Hewitt. Probably seen him on Twitter. Looking forward to talking with him. We will then break down this week's Cleveland headlines. Final week of the Indians' regular season. That is super weird to say.
Mm-hmm.
Browns won. We're 1-1. That's
Victory
weird
Monday.
to say.
Victory Monday right now, baby.
That's right. Good call. And then we will preview the game versus the Washington football team. Looking forward to that one. They kind of suck too, like the Bengals, so looks pretty promising. Then we'll get into our big plays of the week presented by MyBookie. Almost hit that parlay last time. And then we'll try to squeeze in a Browns edition of Stump the Flog. Chris, I feel like you will do better at this one, definitely.
I hope so. There's only one way to go, and that's up.
That's right. And then we'll give you our bold predictions for the week, but let's kick it off with some Power Rank Monday.
It's time for Power Rank Monday.
All right, so Kyle Schwarber's best friend, Joe Buck, who we all love in Cleveland, was the announcer for Thursday night football, Browns-Bengals. So we saw him call a nationally televised game for a Cleveland sporting event. Inspired us to power rank the most hated people in Cleveland, past or present, doesn't matter, dead or alive. I will kick it off with my number 3. Where's my ding?
Ding.
There it is. I'm going with Pittsburgh fans who were born in Ohio.
Yeah, the
Collectively.
contrarians.
They're so smug. I just don't like any of them. One of my friends is one of them. I like him, but outside of that, they're the worst people ever.
Can I piggyback off of that
Please
too?
do.
You get those Michigan fans too from Ohio who just want to be contrarian and they love Michigan for no reason. Michigan hasn't even been good now in a long time. And you just to be contrarian, not to go with the flow. You want to be a Michigan fan. You want to be different. And I'm just not digging that, Dave. So I'm with you on this one.
It was the people who hated on Dave Matthews Band, right, Chris?
That's right. That's right. Just go with the flow. Everybody loves Dave.
That's right. Number 2. This was tough because I hated the whole team, but Draymond Green, Warriors, 2015,
Self-explanatory.
16, 17. Yeah. Don't need to get into that. Kicking the balls. And number 1, this has to be a number 1 on everyone's list. Art Modell. Can't beat it. Can't top it. Worst ever.
No.
Chris, what do you have?
My number 3, Dave. I actually had 2 at number 3. I've been breaking the rules a lot lately in this game, but I had Michael Jordan. A lot of people forget that. You know, you see The Last Dance and you think, oh, Michael Jordan, what a champion. And look at everything he's gone through. Remember, he did that on our backs as Cleveland fans. He hit the shot over us. And he was the Bulls at that time were the ones that stopped the Cavs. And the Cavs had a pretty darn good team back then. So he is a source of heartbreak for us. So Michael Jordan is my number 3, along with Steph Curry. I threw his name in there as well, obviously with our run with Golden State and him with his stupid mouth guard that he'd chew on and just all his other little antics that drove me nuts, kind of passive aggressive type of crap on the court and then beating us. That landed him at number 3.
So who do you hate more,
Michael
Jordan or Steph Curry? I think that's an easy answer.
I'm going to say Michael Jordan.
Really? I would definitely go Steph Curry.
Yeah. Steph Curry's at least kind of got roots here. He kind of got that. I mean, at least I'll give him a little bit of that. I don't know. Either way, you know, I'm not stopping to get either of those guys' autographs. Well, maybe Michael Jordan. It might be worth it.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Absolutely, Michael Jordan.
Number 2. Okay. Well, Dave, I guarantee I'm not getting this guy's autograph. John Elway.
No.
The drive, the fumble, all that crap. Horse tooth jackass. John Elway. He's my number 2.
That's a good one.
And then my number 1, Art Modell. Ding. Obviously, everybody's got to have him at number 1. Art, you are my number 1. R.I.P., brother.
I actually met John Elway last year at the Hall of Fame game. We got to do some interviews in the locker room I think it was the Falcons locker room, and he popped in. Yeah. Biggest.
Did you punch him in the face?
Thought about it, and then I just walked away.
This is for Kosar, jackass.
Yeah, good list. Good list. Nick, top 3 most hated Cleveland.
All right, cool. So let's do it. My number 3. I had a Big Ben on there. Big Ben had to crack my list because the last decade of being a Cleveland Browns fan has been tormented by Big Ben. We talk about it every year. It always comes down to, you know, the Browns making the playoffs, not in 0-16, 1-15, but usually when the Browns have a chance and you're looking at a season where they could make the playoffs, could not, it always boils down to, did you beat the Steelers? And over the last decade, Big Ben has been the guy that stood in the way from that. He's huge. He's unstoppable. He looks actually good coming back from this Tommy John surgery, which we were all hoping that wouldn't be the case. You know, we were kind of hoping we were at the end of Big Ben, but the guy looks like he puts mayonnaise on everything. I just can't stand anything about him. So Big Ben is my number 3.
Hashtag love and honor, right, Dave?
Oh, man. Yeah, about 150 pounds less at Miami. The great flat-brimmed hat smoking a cig.
Nice. All right, my number 2. I'm going with Kevin Durant. So I know we talked Steph, we talked Draymond. Kevin Durant to me is the most hated because you join a 73-9 team after you blew your own 3-1 lead. It was just the softest move ever. It really did cost the Cavs a dynasty. I mean, when you look at, obviously they get swept with KD, then Kyrie demands out. You still make the finals with just LeBron dragging a Kevin Love and a bunch of dudes to the finals, and Kevin Durant just beats you one more time, and then he leaves Golden State. So Kevin Durant single-handedly robbed the Cavs of having a little dynasty there after 2016, and yeah, July 4th, 2016. I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, That's a good one. That is a
Yeah.
good, that whole team, man. That whole team.
Yep, something about him. All right, my number one wasn't even alive for this, but let's just make it unanimous. Art Modell. Screw that guy.
You're just putting that on there so we don't rip you, right?
No, I'm not. So here's the thing. I was thinking about who am I going to put on there. Actually, Kevin Durant was going to be my one. And I was looking up a couple things, and really my number one, like, had we done this show, in 2010,
LeBron.
2012, it would have been LeBron,
Oh,
which
big
is
time.
crazy. But
Right.
2016 erases all of that, and the 4 straight final runs erases all that hatred and feelings you have towards LeBron. So Art Modell stood in the way of, my grandfather getting a chance to see the Browns return to Cleveland. He lost the Browns, and then in that gap year where they were away, he didn't get to see them come back. So there were so many people like that, that just, and then the Browns in my generation are almost a lost team, because you look at, younger kids and they're fans of the Steelers, how Dave was talking about, or they're friends of the Giants because they saw Odell make the catch and they got Saquon, or the Seahawks.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah,
they
not
don't.
anymore. Not anymore. The Seahawks, because they have Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom from a few years ago. So the Browns are such a lost team, and that all goes back to what Art Modell did to us.
That
Wow.
is-
Well, that was a very
yeah.
depressing segment,
Ugh.
especially after the Browns won on Thursday. The Indians are on the verge of clinching. That was a great segment.
Honorable mention too. I will go with Kevin Garnett.
Garnett.
If he had never whispered in LeBron's ear after that playoff loss, I don't think LeBron leaves.
Wow, that's a
I really don't
conspiracy.
think so. I really don't
When
think so.
LeBron rips the jersey off. Also, I do want to
Yeah.
show love, because I saw some people in the comments and some people on Twitter were saying Tony Grossi needs to be on this list. And as a teammate of Grossi, I need to back him up here, because
Wow.
unanimously, all of our lists had Art Modell being the most hated man in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Tony Grossi has almost
Keeps him out.
single-handedly kept him out of the Hall of Fame. And it's so hard for owners to get in there anyways. The rest of the media that sit in the room and hash it out really want Modell to be in there, because he brought Baltimore, a franchise that's had great success as a younger up-and-coming team in the NFL, and Grossi refuses. Grossi refuses to let Art Modell get into that hall. So Tony Grossi, not most hated man.
Look at you, 850 homer. over
Yeah, all
there
right. We'll go
doing
no
your job.
comment on that one, Nick. All right, let's move on. That was Power Rank Monday, and we are going to bring in our featured guest here in just a moment. Hugh Hewitt, talk some more Cleveland sports. We will be right back in about 30 seconds. Already on the line, we have syndicated radio host, NBC News contributor, Washington Post contributing columnist. The list goes on and on, but most importantly, a Cleveland sports fan, Mr. Hugh Hewitt. Welcome to the Big Play Reflux Show. How are you?
I am great, Chris. Thank you for having me. I'm watching the Indians struggle to get their win in the bag here tonight. We're in the ninth, the bottom of the ninth, so I was a little bit late.
Still up 7-4 right now, though, Hugh. So hopefully we've got this one in the bag, right?
We gave up a single to the opening batter in the top of the ninth, so I'm a little bit worried.
Once
Just a little
again,
bit worried.
once again, we never make it easy in
A
Cleveland. do we,
Cleveland
Hugh?
closer making us nervous. I can't believe it.
Well, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah.
How often you guys do this weekly?
Yeah, every Monday night at 9 p.m. Live on Twitter.
And how did you three become you three?
The internet.
That's
I
exactly
mean,
right.
do you know each other from college, or are they?
No, so Chris and I went to Miami, but not at the same time. And then Nick is like our son. He's way younger than us. So we all kind of met on the internet and developed this show over time.
My son is a Miami Red Hawk. What year did you guys get out?
So I was 2006.
And I was 2001.
Yeah.
Okay. You overlapped. So there was a Hewitt running around playing water polo there in those years.
Very
yes.
nice.
Over there at the rec center.
Yes.
Probably the new rec center, which was right across from Anderson Hall, which is where I stayed. And I'd go to the rec center get their calzones, and that was about it. Not to
Okay.
actually work out. They had great calzones over there.
Fantastic calzones.
Absolutely. That's the only reason I go over there in those days. Oh, man.
So here we were just talking about there's nothing more annoying than an Ohio-born person here in Ohio who is a Steelers fan, was grown up a Steelers fan. So thanks for growing up the right way. You were very close to the PA border growing up. Did you have any run-ins with Steelers fans growing up wearing the brown and orange like you're wearing tonight?
No, I've got a nephew who's gone to the dark side. But I grew up going to every Browns game from 65 to 74 till I went to college. So there wasn't much room in my home for sliding, but I got a nephew on the dark side. You know, when Kasich was governor, he was a Steelers fan, and he didn't like to talk about that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh, yes. Oh, yeah, hardcore Steelers guy. So they always try and stay away from that whenever they're running for office, but I always dig it out. But no backsliding here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Got any good stories from old Municipal Stadium there, Hugh, in your times going to those games?
Well, I'm a Red Right 88 veteran. I was there that day. I'm there for the double overtime against the Jets. Came home from D.C. to see that one in 86. That was January of 87. That was a good game.
I was at that game, Hugh. I was at that game. I was 7 years old. I was in the upper deck. That made me a Browns fan for life, as if I wasn't going to be. But I was there. I was 7 years old. I was on my seat. And with, 4 minutes to go, we were down by 10. And I was on my seat, and I was yelling. People were streaming out of the top deck of Old Municipal. And I was saying, we're going to win. We're going to win. And, all these drunk guys walking by going, yeah, sure, kid. We'll get them next year. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We're going to win. And I would never forget that comeback. And thank God that Gastineau hit Bernie late. And just the euphoria after that game and being a part of that, I was like, oh, man, being a Browns fan is so great. It's like this all the time.
Well, my dad was twitchy, and we always left when the game was over. We were streaming out, but then we ended up watching on the ramp for the two overtimes, watching on the ramp. It was very cold, Chris.
Yeah,
it was very cold. Wasn't as cold as Red Right 88, but it was very cold. And watching on the ramp, that was a great game. It made you believe in the Browns that it was possible. Then, of course, the bad stuff happened thereafter. But so we were there at the same time. I'm a lot older than you, so I've been putting up with my boys complain about the Browns. I tell them I have a quarter century of misery head start on them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So that takes us. What do you think about the Browns right now?
I'm very excited. I think Kevin Stefanski, you're too young to remember Tom Landry and Bud Grant, but he has this Tom Landry and Bud Grant kind of air about him, a very sober professional. I'm very excited about him. I'm glad to get Mac Wilson back and Johnson and Greedy. They're all coming back. And we should beat the Washington football team handily this week, I think.
I hope you're right. Boy, from your lips to God's ears. Every time we get a little bit of momentum going in one direction, it's like the football gods come back the other way.
Do you remember Biner and Mac at all? That's too late for you, right?
Absolutely, I remember Biner and Mac. Come on.
This is Biner and Mac years.
Yes.
When I saw that last drive on Sunday, I told the boys I was watching with them, that's like seeing Biner and Mac. Either of them go any way they want. It was terrific. That was real Cleveland football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With Bernie Kosar in the backfield, you had Ozzie Newsome running routes. You had Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne. On third, fourth down, you find Brian Brennan. I mean, those were good times.
Doesn't that sound? You can find an analog for every one of those players on the 2020 Browns. Every one of them.
There you go. There you go. We're just recreate them. Actually, and that's Stefanski is kind of a throwback in that way. I mean, bringing in the tight ends, bringing in the fullbacks.
Yep.
What do you think about that? Kind of going back to what we were before, kind of the roots. Do you see that as a path to success for the Browns?
I do. I think the fact that they ran that ball, they scored too quickly in the last set, and that's a happy problem to have. And when you have linebackers back this week, maybe that's something they can defend again. Got a little bit too close there at the end for my liking. It should have been a 2-score game, but it looked competent and they looked successful, and Stefanski looked in control. I mean, there's nothing to worry about on the offense. I'm just worried about that secondary whose names I don't know most of the guys playing, and I follow pretty closely, right?
Well, everybody's hurt. Yeah, that's the one thing we're not close to in the mid-'80s. We're not close to the defense that we used to have back there.
That's right.
Clay Matthews is not in the linebacking core. I like Mac Wilson, but he's no Clay Matthews.
Hugh, we can
or
tell
Dick.
you're definitely a Browns fan because you just said it's so nice to see them competent. So
I have a very low bar. I think I told Chris this. I bought season tickets in '99, and I made the mistake of telling my dad was still alive, and got him for him and my brother to go to the games. But I lived in California, and I told my brother I was never going to go until they had a playoff game at home. I've had season tickets since 1999. My brother has never let me forget it. I have never gone. My nephews and my boys go. I've never been to First Energy. I'm waiting for the first playoff game in First Energy.
do you think this is the year?
This is the year.
Yes.
The Hugh Hewitt
Yes.
lock right there. This is the year the Cleveland Browns go to the playoffs.
In First Energy. We went once with the Steelers down there, but in First Energy.
Yeah, we should have won that game, by the way. But
Shootout.
brutal. Yeah.
Dennis Northcutt, I will never forgive him for dropping that ball that day. Do you remember that play, Hugh?
No, I just remember losing.
They came all the way back on us, but we still had a shot. All we had to do was kind of run the ball down the field, and it was third down. Dennis Northcutt drops a pass. If he would have caught it, we would have been able to basically run out the game. But just
There
the
are many
path
ifs.
to being a Browns fan, right?
Best game. Do you? You're too young for this. Maybe you're not. 1980. The Bears play the Browns. Monday Night Football. I drive from Michigan, Ann Arbor, down to watch them play. Sipe wins. I go back, and the next day I vote for Ronald Reagan. It may have been the best 24 hours in my life, other than getting married.
Look at you working in the Reagan drop.
I just
as
wanted
well.
to got to date that. Brian Sipe called me up once in California. He's a very good man in San Diego. He needed help with a project. He said, "Can I take you to lunch?" I said, "Can I drive down to San Diego, pick you up, and bring you up to go to lunch?" But we talked about that game, which I had misremembered as them beating the Steelers all those years. He remembered every play. I'm always amazed by
Wow.
football players
Yeah.
who remember every play of every game, like you just remembered Northcutt.
That's right. You can always remember those guys that stand out to you. Usually it's in a bad way with my lifetime with the Cleveland Browns. So speaking of our latest, our history here, the last few years, we haven't had the best running coaches. So Hugh Jackson, did that ruin the name Hugh for you at all?
No, it's HUE. Look,
Yeah,
I've
sorry.
always been in favor of every coach we've hired. I've always gotten excited about every single one. I think every one of them are great. But Freddie, I really wanted to keep Greg because I thought, why would you change what's winning? And I gather the NFL just won't let him be a head coach. That's the buzz I picked up.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen. But
Yeah.
it's too bad because I thought Kitchens was a good man, but he just was overwhelmed. I don't think Stefanski's overwhelmed at all. He does not look worried. He didn't overreact to the first week. I like his press conference today. He doesn't overreact to anything. He's just professional.
Well, and all the ladies in Cleveland are going nuts because he's also a handsome man. And we usually don't get those in Cleveland.
No.
You had Freddie Kitchens before that. He kind of looked like, guys like me, the type you'd sit down at any bar anywhere there in the Cleveland area and kind of have a mug with. But Kevin Stefanski, you're right. I could see him being a successful coach for the Browns and then maybe Hugh going into politics. Could you see that?
Oh, yeah, he's got that look. Marty Schottenheimer had that look, too. And Marty was a very good coach, right? Didn't win it for us, but he's a very good coach. And that look of just complete professionalism. I don't know if I think he's, where's Stefanski from? He's not, I know he's been in Minnesota forever, but he's not from Minnesota. Where was his dad? Is he from Detroit?
I don't
We need to get our
recall.
producers
Yeah, he
on
was
that.
in Minnesota for a while.
His
Kinda
dad's an
where he raised his
NBA front
family.
office guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Nick, where's he from?
I'm working on it right now.
Come
He is
on,
from
Nick.
Philly. He's from
Philly, really?
Ooh.
Yeah, he knows bad football.
He knows he does. He knows bad fans too.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he can't believe he's not being booed at already. Right? It's been 2 games. He's not being booed. He doesn't understand that.
Dude, where you at with Baker here? You know, you talk about Stipe, you talk about Bernie. It's been so long since it's felt like we've had the guy in Cleveland. Where you at with Baker and all this?
Love the guy, and I didn't want him drafted. I have an ongoing gig and joke with my morning guy in Cleveland on at WHK 1420, guy named Bob Franz. And
Oh, yeah.
before the draft, I wanted Sam Darnold, and Bob wanted Baker. So I just lie on the air and say I always wanted Baker all the time, and I just lie. But he's impressed me. He's got that look, and I just don't think he had any tools last year. Right? I can't even remember our now convicted left tackle.
Greg Robinson.
Greg
Oh, there you
Robinson.
go, Greg Robinson.
That's a lot of
Uh,
marijuana.
Yeah, that is he in jail?
He's got to be.
Nobody's
He's-
heard.
he's
I
gotta
always
be.
check. I check like once a week, and there's no update on that.
Oh, that was a lot of stuff, right?
That's a lot of weed.
Oh, yeah.
And
There's
why do you drive that close to the border then if you got that weed? I don't know.
Well, he was a nice kid too. I thought he was a very nice kid, but I think Wills is a great kid.
Yeah.
If you're composed enough to watch, you guys may have been at the game. You didn't see Baker at home when he did the book club with Jed Wills.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh, yes.
For a rookie to pull that off, that is a very strong move. That's a very confident young man we have there.
You're breaking down our rookies in commercials right now, Hugh. This has got to be unprecedented
Peak Cleveland.
level of analysis right here. I'm impressed.
Little addicted after I'm 60, almost 65 years old. I've been watching him since I can't remember 1964, right? I can't remember it. So I can't remember them winning anything, but I'm a little addicted. Yeah.
So Baker is known to get into it with some of the media up here. You know, he's kind of a no nonsense, takes no nonsense kind of guy. As somebody that's worked in the media on the politics side and he's covered huge giants, you know, President Trump, for example, what's that like when a guy looks right back at you and fires back at your question, throws insults at you?
Yo,
Like, how
Trump
do you
yells at me
combat
on
that?
stage and says, "You're a third-rate host. You have low ratings." Look, the president and I get
Hugh,
along
full
fine.
disclosure. We were listening to that exact clip before we had you on
That was
for the
terrific.
show today. Yeah, because
Oh.
we pulled it up and it's like one of the first hits is
Oh.
Trump coming after you when you're mediating that debate.
You know, we practiced the debate. The CNN team's very professional. Like I say, we had a linebackers room for the hosts, and a guy named Mark Preston played Trump, and he insulted me every day 4 or 5 times. He insulted my wife. He insulted my children. He said I was fat. He said I was old. Anything. But so you just keep your cool. You just don't get into it. The president is he just has an MO that you get used to. So I think what Baker does is very similar to what we did on the debate with Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. I don't think many people get under his skin. Tony does occasionally, right? Warren, Ohio. Tony,
yeah. Tony Grossi. Yeah.
Tony Grossi does, yeah.
He's
You
a
know all
Warren
the
boy.
players.
He's a Warren boy. And that's the only time I've ever seen Mayfield say, what do you say, Jesus, Tony? That's the only
Jesus.
time I think I've seen him lose it.
Yeah.
That's very
Definitely.
true.
Pretty
Very
cool.
true.
Good.
Yeah. So the Big Ten is back in the news for weeks regarding the postponement. They're finally back. What do you believe was the holdup on that? It seemed like a misunderstanding. It was canceled and then it was kind of coming back and then it was definitely coming back. And now it's back. Do you think it was a health and safety thing? Or do you think there was something else kind of at play with the whole Big Ten situation? And what do you make of Kevin Warren over there?
Well, I think Kevin Warren blew his first big call, but he's a rookie. So he overreacted. It was a political decision. I blame Governor Whitmer. I really do. I don't know if you guys do politics on the show. She is sort
Not
of like
much, but we got you on, Hugh. So
Okay.
win in Rome.
Whitmer is a nut. And she is so far out. You know, you can buy hose, but you can't buy seed. She got 1,000 pages of regulations. I think she leaned on the regents. I said, don't. And so they made it go that way. But then the Ohio State alumni who like to win the game started putting pressure on our new president. And I think it was the dumbest. If you've got the SEC playing and the only one that's not playing now is the Pac-12, I think. We're going to get
Correct.
killed in the recruiting.
And the MAC, Hugh.
And the MAC. Well, okay.
The MAC
Uh,
might be coming back. The MAC might be coming back. We'll
They
see.
lost a lot of money this year when they did not play those opening games, right?
That's exactly right.
well,
Yeah.
I just think they're getting killed in recruiting, and the fans spoke, and the alumni spoke, and the administrators got over their fears. And the science doesn't support them. Kids don't get myocarditis from whatever they call that from getting the disease.
So how much credit do you give to Donald Trump for bringing the Big Ten back?
Well, he was on the show, and he said it was his. He made some calls. I don't. I think that's the alumni of The Ohio State University and Nebraska. I think the alumni made that happen.
Yeah. We got some pretty strong alumni when it comes to Ohio State who love their football, as you know, in Ohio.
And
So what do you think the chances are for Ohio State to win the championship this year?
I'm jaded. Coach Meyer is like you and I, we talk to each other via direct message. Very intimidating because he listens to the show in the morning. He's very up on his seniors. He calls them his seniors. And so he's very up on this class. So I am too.
So you think that this could be the team?
Yeah. As good as last year's, if not better. Who knows what a shortened season means? Who knows what this strange schedule is? But if they go undefeated, they have to go to the playoffs, right? They have to.
Yeah.
Politically correct here, they have to. So we'll get a chance to play. They just got to execute again. I'm not the Ohio State fan that you guys are, because in Warren, we had divided loyalties. You grow up Catholic in Warren, you're rooting for Notre Dame one Saturday, you're rooting for Ohio State the next Saturday. So back and forth between the two. But Woody would show up every 3 years at on the circuit with Bo and Ara Parsegian. Every 3 years, one of them would show up on the circuit to give the football banquet. So I love them all. I'm just glad they're playing.
Oh, listen to that. That's a very political answer. Man,
is.
oh man, Hugh. I love them all. I'm just glad they're playing.
There you
You
go.
are well
that
versed
is-
in this whole political thing.
I plead, yes.
So wait, if I could nail you down a little bit, you've got the Browns going to the playoffs. You've got Ohio State going to the playoffs. And then you've got the Indians going how far, Hugh?
At least to the round of 5 on Bieber and Plessick and somebody else. It can be McKenzie. It can be
Carrasco's look great too.
He did yesterday. 11 Ks. 11.
Yeah.
So I think in those short series we're great. But they scored. Did they win? By the way, do we have an update? Did they win?
It's still showing 7-4 on
No,
my
I think it's
screen
over.
here,
I got an
Hugh.
alert. I didn't see what it said though. Nick, you're up again.
Oh yeah, we got a 7-4 final. Try
There
it.
we go. That's a
So,
big win at the top.
If you guys
top end
know
of
the
this.
website that will tell me what their odds of making the playoffs are, it's the hardest thing to find because of the funky losses. You can't do anything, but I think they are now in, or maybe they're one win away from being.
I
in.
think they may be
Tonight-
down to 1. I think the magic number may be down to 1 now. So either another win or a loss by certain teams.
So I'm optimistic that they
Super
get
awesome.
through the 3-game series and the 5-game series. I don't know that they can survive 7 with nobody hitting. I don't think that's
That's
possible.
fair. That's fair.
Now, what's your big picture thought on the Indians? You know, here locally, a lot of people blame the Dolans for not being able to not spending on the team, so not giving us, like the bats when we need them. What is your take? Do you think that's just a factor of being a small market, or do you think that really, that the Dolans do need to spend, and there is an opportunity here if they would really turn on the cash?
I love the Dolans. This is an outlier. I think that it's great that Cleveland can be in the playoffs year after year with no money. I think it's great that they can prove small ball, that they invested in their pitching in their minor leagues. I think they have had the best front office since John Hart was the GM. They know how to play small market baseball. And I ask you a question. If Jeff Bezos showed up and he wanted to buy the Indians, would you think that was a good thing or a bad thing? I think that would be a bad thing.
Why is that? Because I think that would be a great thing.
Because then they would buy everybody. He has an unlimited budget, like the Washington Post. They would buy we would be the Steinbrenner Yankees, and we would not deserve the World Series that is coming our way.
Everybody would hate us, and we'd get all the best talent here, and we'd win a lot. I've never had that happen in my life, Hugh. That's a good thing. I'm an Ohio State
the
fan.
90s Indians, you can remember, they won 103 games, didn't they? 104 games.
Yep.
So in a small market, I just like winning in a small market. The way that you guys think the Indians have been bad. You weren't alive in the 60s. They were so bad. There was 2,000 people in Muni. 2,000 people for a game. That was remarkably bad.
What do you make of?
Go
What do you
ahead,
make of the name Cleveland Amazons there? What are your thoughts on the whole name change?
Maybe we should drop that right now. I'm for if they change it, the Cleveland Blues is what I want, the Blue Sox. But what's the latest on that? Are they going to change it? Has that died down?
It's still under review. So they are reviewing it still, and they're probably going to make a decision at the end of the year. They didn't want to do it like a mid-season change, but it's under review.
Do you guys wear your Chief Wahoo anymore?
I've always been a Block C guy. I love Block
plenty
C.
of those.
I got lots of gear, but I'm hesitant to wear it.
Yeah, I don't wear it anymore.
Yeah, I think it's just asking for people to be offended, so I just don't wear it. I got enough trouble being a right winger that I don't need to ask anyone to be mad at me.
A right winger with perspective.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see it? Now, I do have to ask you this, Hugh. Did you see that I wrote a book with Condoleezza Rice? I don't know if you caught this.
No.
Political Risk. I don't know if you've seen the book. You need to go pick it up. It came out 2 years ago. I found out from somebody this is now required college reading in many syllabuses across the country. But if you look in this book, Hugh, on page 17, they have one of my tweets. So I contributed 140 characters to Condoleezza Rice's book, Political Risk.
You are a co-author.
I am. I think I could count that, right? I mean,
you can.
With the resume that's so long, I don't have a resume that's nearly even close to what you got, but I think I could throw that on there as I wrote a book with Condoleezza Rice.
That's fair. It's a fair interpretation. I visited Dr. Rice at Hoover, where she is now the president of Hoover Institution at Stanford. This is a wife story. I don't know how many of you guys are married or thinking about it, but this is a wife story. So we go into Dr. Rice's office to say hello to her. We talk to her for 10 minutes. She's got Browns gear all over the office. You know, she's a hardcore Browns fan, hardcore.
Absolutely.
And she explains it in her autobiography. Growing up in Birmingham, Jimmy Brown was playing, and she's a little African-American girl in what they called Bombingham because they had all the bombings and the race problems. So she's a huge Cleveland Brown. There's gear everywhere. I asked my wife to take a picture of Condi and I, which she does. She manages to take a picture without any Cleveland Browns gear in it. I later said, what were you thinking? See, you'd have to get the only angle possible. It was, and she said, I didn't know it mattered. It's like your book. Good for you.
Yes, there we go. And I didn't even realize it. That's fantastic. There was a couple of years ago when Condoleezza Rice, they were kind of talking about her being a coach. I think it was more it was kind of tongue in cheek from Adam Schefter, but I don't know. I guess the Browns were supposedly kicking the tires on her being a coach. What did you think about that when all that came out?
I thought she'd make a good commissioner. It would be good to have a commissioner who was alive. And so she would be a good commissioner. Do you guys hate Goodell as much as I do? This program
I think everyone
anti-Goodell?
does. Oh, everyone's anti-Goodell, I think.
Mark Leibovich is not so much. The guy who wrote Big Game. He's a friend of mine here in D.C., and he thinks he's just paid to be a Bobo doll for the owners. So it's not his fault. But I think
isn't that what all of these commissioners are? I mean, they get their paychecks from the owners. So ultimately, they're just they're lackeys. And he's just one in a line of a few of those.
But don't
I
you
give
think
a lot
you
of
could
credit
at
to
least make an argument from experience? Myles Garrett getting suspended for the whole year made me crazy. I think they made Josh Gordon a disaster when a little bit of counseling and a little bit of intervention would have turned a young man into a great football player. Instead, Roger Goodell throws him. I really think he has a Cleveland anti-something. Because every decision he makes about the Browns seems to go to the maximum negative consequence.
He seems to be so ham-handed on things and really draconian. And I don't know whether it was the NFL back a few years ago after Tagliabue just decided that, hey, if we're going to make it in this world, we've got to come down on these players and they've got to dress a certain way, be a certain way, and act a certain way, 100%. And it seemed like that was his marching orders from the beginning. And he hasn't wavered much from them since that time.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
And my problem with it is that these are young men. And so every young man I've ever known does stupid things. Now, if the stupid things involve physically hurting women, I'm for suspending Kareem Hunt for 8 games. That's fine.
Yep.
But if you're using dope and you're Gordon and you throw the kid out for a year, you're not helping him. You're destroying him. And Myles Garrett, if you do the math, I don't know who the math wizard is, what he cost Myles Garrett in terms of lifetime money by suspending him for 8 games for a young kid with no money. I know he signed a good bonus, et cetera, but it was, I did the math. I think it was like 120 million over his lifetime is what that money was for losing his temper and not hurting someone. I understand the suspension, but I think he has something for the Browns. I just don't think he thinks very well.
Do you think Rudolph said what they're saying he said? Miles to get him
I
going.
believe
I like a
Myles
good
Garrett
conspiracy
heard
theory.
it. I believe Myles Garrett heard it. Lawyers like me always believe witnesses, but we know witnesses can be wrong.
Yeah.
And so I believe Myles Garrett thinks he heard it.
And I think that makes sense. I really do, because Miles seems to me to be a very genuine guy, first of all, and a very intelligent guy. And I don't think a guy like that is just going to make something up like that willy-nilly. I do not believe it. So,
in fact, I think it's a very smart team. I want to pick up on this. I thought I'd get thinking about themes about it. Batonio's very smart. I got to show you something. This came this week. Reince Priebus is the chairman of the Republican National Committee when Cleveland gives the Republicans the convention that nominates Donald Trump. So the Browns send him a signed football. Reince sent me this week. It's signed by Justin Gilbert. Now,
and it
only
looks like
a
it's
Browns
prominent.
fan can understand that.
And that's prominent on that football. Like that's
Justin,
not
we got Joel Batonio over here.
Nice.
I can't read it, but Justin Gilbert, number 21. And so only a Browns fan will understand why that's funny.
You got Manziel on that same football?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I think he was gone by then. But but I just think trying to explain Justin Gilbert to somebody, it takes a lot of Browns knowledge.
That's exactly right. But we are used to that kind of disappointment here in Cleveland. Hugh, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. This was an absolute blast. Reminiscing about the Browns.
You make my Sunday Twitter feed light up. Thank you. Just do not put the Browns boat back on there. I almost swallowed my tongue. That was the funniest damn thing.
And for those of you who don't know, he's alluding to, they have the Trump parades, the boat parades. And I took one of those boats, the one that was underwater and with kind of a couple of occupants who looked like they were completely clueless at that point. I made it all Browns banners, and then I put Baker Mayfield on the boat when it looked like we weren't doing so well week 1. But hopefully we are now turning that thing around and we're going to be in good shape, Hugh.
Well, keep lighting up the internet. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good evening, and go Browns.
Hugh, thank you so much. Go Browns.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hugh.
Fantastic stuff from Hugh Hewitt. Let's get into some Cleveland headlines. In 3, 2, 1. I love Cleveland fans. It's fantastic. He was great. He was great.
It doesn't matter. You sit down at a bar, no matter if you're Republican, Democrat, no matter what your party you affiliate with, you can always talk Browns.
Justin Gilbert.
You talk Justin Gilbert. Doesn't matter where you're at in this country or where you're at politically. There's somebody who's a Browns fan who you can relate to on that. And Hugh, that was fantastic. I appreciate it.
That's right. All right, let's switch gears to our Indians. Super weird, but regular season is winding down. Finale is this Sunday. That's so strange. So we're 30-24, I believe. Not too shabby. Nick, shortened season, this expanded playoffs. Is it changing any way you feel about this Indians team heading into the postseason at all?
Oh, it helps. And I mean, just like everybody else, when the Indians were on that big losing streak last week, it hurt my heart too. And I was like, oh, this is going to be another team that folds up like a lawn chair like we've seen the last few years in the postseason. Granted, we get there, it was looking like. But the more I sit down, the more I think about it, this expanded playoffs with like the 3-game play-in type deal, that's literally tailor-made for the Indians, because they could go out there and just throw, Bieber, who they're pushing back his start to be ready for the playoffs, which I love that. I always love that, 4D chess type of manager decision. And then you could throw Plesac and Cookie out there. There should be 3 wins right there as long as the bats wake up. Obviously, we know that's the key. The pitching is there.
Yeah.
But I do feel a lot better about the Tribe going into a bubble, and all you have to do is get hot in baseball. We all know that anything could happen from there.
Yeah, and Jose Ramirez, he's hot. He was one of the
MVP
one of the most disappointing guys of with the World Series or playoff runs. Just couldn't. He was like he couldn't hit a curveball, and so hopefully he can keep that going. You mentioned MVP. I don't think he's gonna get it, but he's close. He's very close. You've got another guy who's probably closer, Shane Bieber. No pitchers won it since Verlander. I think it was 2011. Chris, do you think Bieber? He's got the Cy Young in the bag, I think. But
Yes,
do you
I
think
agree.
that he can win the MVP?
No. I
Do
don't
you
so.
think he should?
Because of stodgy old baseball writers. You know, that's the old story.
Yeah.
They're not going to move off of that stance that you can't win both. You've got that award that's specific for pitchers, and that's the Cy Young, and that's what you're going to win, and forget about the MVP. But yeah, I think in a shortened season, and you look at what he has done for the Cleveland Indians, who can
incredible.
barely score on most nights 2 runs. I mean, if you don't have Shane Bieber on this team, we're not a playoff team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And who knows if we were even, I'd be scared to know where we would be at if we didn't have him and some of the pitchers that we've got on this staff right now. So yeah, absolutely. If anybody's going to deserve it, somebody like that, especially in a shortened season where you've got a team that's scoring 0 runs essentially over the course of the season.
Bieber 25 strikeouts more than any other pitcher in the AL.
Domination.
It's insane.
Domination.
Yeah, I would give it to him.
And let me hop on my LeBron soapbox here. Like, that's the same thing that we
Where'd that
just
come
went
from?
through in the NBA with him, because he should have, been that. What is MVP? That's what I would ask these baseball writers if I was sitting in the stupid Zoom room that they're going to vote in. Like, what is MVP? It's the most valuable player. Like, any position, most valuable player, not the best player, not the player that the media likes covering this year, but who to their team was the most valuable. And like Chris said, I would hate to know where the Tribe would be without Shane Bieber, and I think he's the most valuable as well.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to a point. I was hanging out with some friends last night watching football and baseball, and we were talking, and we're like, they should wait until the playoffs are over before they vote on this, because you've got someone like Giannis who just completely choked. You've got all these players, and then they just flop in the postseason. Why not just wait? And then if Bieber goes on this run and wins the World Series, just then give him the MVP. I don't know.
I guess it's supposed to be a regular season award. I don't
It's
know.
stupid.
I mean, it's just tradition. And you know the way baseball is with tradition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's switch gears. We got to talk Brownies. We looked like a real football team. That was fun.
In spades.
Chris, your power rank, they listened. They obviously watched the show. They ran the ball.
They did indeed. They did indeed. Had a little bit of problems with that when they got to the goal line. But then
A
we
little bit.
got a turnover. And
By the
then
way,
eventually we got it in.
I liked going for it on 4th. Stefanski showed he had some balls. He was going to be aggressive. I like that call. It didn't work out. It's not always going to work out. Way better than the fake punt week 1.
I like it because we won.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't have liked it if we would have lost. Let me be clear on that.
Fair
one.
enough.
That's
I
the
think
kind of call where you've got to be prepared. If you win, it's all good, man. And you've got, you're just a riverboat gambler out there. But if you lose, then you're an idiot. And you've just got to understand that when you call something like that.
I think in those situations too, the math weighs out. Like, it weighed out for Stefanski. Like, right there, you're more apt to get it than not get it. So whereas Freddie would have probably just
But we
kicked,
didn't get it.
and we didn't get it, but that would have been it. That would have been his fall, like, post game, and that would have been
Right.
a fair excuse. Was, well, we're going all in on analytics, and that's what analytics told us to do.
Well, we had that home crowd working for us, so we wanted
Yeah,
to
we did.
just
They were
go
loud.
off of that momentum.
Weren't they loud?
They were
They
pretty
were
loud.
really loud.
They were-
I don't think there
for
was any fake
6,000.
noise.
I mean, hell,
Yeah.
that's impressive. That's impressive.
All right, so let's that game's over. We're 1-1. Let's move on.
That's it. Move on from that.
Although one other point that I want to make about that game, because Joe Burrow, Nick, I want to ask about this. Baker played very well, I would say. He didn't throw a whole lot, but he played really well. All the local media members around here were drooling over Joe Burrow. We've seen Lamar now. Didn't work out so well for us. We saw Joe Burrow. How do you power rank the AFC North quarterbacks right now after 2 weeks?
God.
Come on, putting you on the spot. Let's do it.
Okay, one, I have to have Lamar because he won the division last year.
Currently,
I'm going to put Baker at 2. You know what? Baker's my guy. Baker's at 2.
Yep.
Ben is coming off Tommy John and played 2 crappy teams so far. And I think they're gifting him the Broncos. Yeah, come on. Baker 2, Ben 3, Burrow 4. And that's just because the guy had to throw 60 times.
61.
And most of his throws were checkdowns.
Yeah.
And none of those other quarterbacks in the division called timeout and lost 22 yards. I will say that. Haven't seen any of them do it.
That's true.
Joe Burrow did.
All right, let's move on to this week because we got the Washington football team. We could go 2-1. We are favored by a touchdown yet again, even more than that.
This scares me.
We'll get into that in our My Bookie segment here in a second. But
Beautiful.
The last time the Browns had a winning record was December 13th, 2014. And then we dropped to 7-7 the next day. Haven't looked back whatsoever. Are we getting over the 500 mark, Chris?
So the last time the Browns had a winning record, I was married.
Great stat.
That's a promo.
Great stat.
Yeah, so there you go. Because it's all about me, obviously. That's incredible. It's been that long. Yeah, I think so. Why not? We got a little bit of momentum going. Stefanski, you get a little bit of confidence in the locker room. Baker gets a little confidence. We figured out that if you run Nick Chubb, that's going to be effective. We're getting some guys back on defense, so things are looking up. Why not? I'm drinking the Kool-Aid right now, Dave. We're going to win.
Yeah, and I think we're by far the best team out of those 2 teams that are going to be playing in week 3.
Right, out of that subset of 2 teams, yes.
But there was a stat today, and Washington gives up a pressure situation 35% of the time through the first 2 weeks. I was watching Red Zone.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means
their quarterback
so
has no chance.
Wait, say that one more time. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Nick, go ahead.
It pretty much means the defensive end or any of the interior defensive tackles as well, that they're beating their guy and that they're causing havoc in the backfield. It's like the whole win rate, defensive
like
ends are
QB
graded
pressure.
by that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
QB pressure.
exactly.
That's basically what it is.
That's it.
Okay.
So they're getting pressured 35% of the time as Dwayne Haskins. And I had a funny tweet. At least I thought it was funny.
You had
And I
a
said
funny
Myles
tweet. All right,
Garrett-
we'll be the judge of that, Nick.
Yeah,
I said Myles Garrett entered the chat.
Yes.
nice. That's good. That's well done. That's Hugh approved. Hugh would enjoy that on a Sunday afternoon, I assure you.
That's right. All right, let's look at some bets. I almost hit my parlay last week. Almost hit it.
Almost.
We're getting a little bit closer. Let's move into
Every week.
a
I
little
almost
inch, a
hit.
little bit closer, Chris.
You'd have won some real money, really? There, right?
One day, Chris, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Let's look at some bets presented by My Bookie. In 3, 2, 1.
Insert music here.
Insert music here. Winning season returns at MyBookie. Winning season means doubling your first deposit. Winning season means Survivor, Super Contest, and Squares at MyBookie. Winning season means hitting all your parlays and props with your feet up, watching the Browns beat the Washington football team. Rejoice, it's time to celebrate the NFL season. Invest in your intuition. Use promo code BIGPLAY and double your first deposit.
Double.
Up to $1,000 for new players in free play, designed to add more excitement to the game you love and the games you bet on. From live betting championship futures, every play you want to make is waiting at MyBookie. It's simple. Make your picks, win big, collect your cash, use promo code BIGPLAY, and double your first deposit. Your winning season begins today only at my bookie. All right, so Chris, yes, you're making fun of me. I almost always win.
Almost always.
I needed a few more receptions and a few more throws out of Baker.
Works every time.
All right, so I mentioned this earlier, Chris.
Time to time.
I don't know when the last time is we were favored 2 weeks in a row, but we were 6 points
I
last
guarantee
week.
I was probably married at the time.
6 points last week, 35-30. A lot of people didn't hit that bet. 7 points this week against Dwayne Haskins and the Washington football team. Do we cover that bet? Browns -7.
I don't think so. I think we win. I don't think we cover.
Do you think we put up a decent amount of points?
That I will say. Yes. Yes, I think so. I think we found some answers offensively, and I think that's going to allow us to score some points.
Because Washington looked really, really rough last week. I don't know. I think we can cover that. Nick, what do you think?
I'm with Chris. I'm going to say we win, don't cover. Washington kind of has a cool thing going there with all those Buckeyes. I mean, they have
Terry
Haskins,
McLaurin.
and then they went and paired him with
He's awesome.
Terry McLaurin, who's like a breakout fantasy guy this year too. So they could put some points up too. This could be a good old fashioned shootout that nobody really saw coming.
God, how fun would that be? That would be so
1
fun.
o'clock.
Bump this one to prime time.
Well, everyone was
The
making
Washington
fun.
football team and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, everyone was
baby.
making fun of Thursday Night Football, Browns, Bengals. They're like, what the hell is this? That was a pretty good football game.
Yeah, it was. I think we gave the nation a treat on Thursday night.
I think so.
I mean, come on. That was good stuff. We gave them some Nick Chubb. They got a nice diet of that. They got to see some things from our defense, which was cool, you know.
Odell back on the
Yeah,
Odell,
fun.
they got a little taste of Odell.
Do you know the worst game for a Browns running back 2 weeks in is averaging 5.5 carries or 5.5 yards per carry? That's the worst. Kareem,
I'll take it.
Nick
Yeah.
Chubb. You'll never see a stat like that again from two running backs. I think we need to run the ball. I think we can score a bunch of points against this team. 44 is the over-under, so my bookie in Vegas don't think many points are getting scored here. 44, we scored 35 by ourselves last week. Nick, over-under, always take the over. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm going over.
Yeah.
Life is too short to bet the under, so why
Yeah.
not have some fun
There
with
you
it?
go.
I think we're going to score a lot of points too.
Put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
so
sure there is one.
here's the bet from last week. These are the projections that my bookie put out. Baker, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris, this week, more or less for Baker Mayfield?
I think more. Yardage.
Okay. Is he going to go for more than 2 touchdowns?
That I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he'll get more yards, but not necessarily more touches because I think you're still going to have the Baker show running the ball. So I'd hang it 2.
All right, let's switch to receivers. Last week, the projection for OBJ, 5 for 61. Nick, more this week or less?
More. I think I'm
Really?
going to go opposite Chris here. I think they're going to let Baker kind of take the training wheels off a little bit. Obviously, we saw really bad Baker against the Ravens. Then we saw much improved Baker last week, where he only had that one pick on a deep ball to Harrison Bryant. I think this week they tried to get him a little bit more involved. They're still going to run first is going to be the identity with Kevin Stefanski. It all starts with the run game, but I think they're kind of going to try to let Odell and Jarvis loose a little bit more, especially on some of maybe those quick hitting slants, maybe let some of those tight ends leak out. We haven't seen much of that yet.
So Landry as well,
Nice.
5 for 56. Do you like the over on both of those guys? Because last week we had a pretty good game. Baker, he didn't throw a whole lot, but I think Odell only had 4 catches and Landry had 3.
I think it's going to be over for Landry this week too.
Okay.
I'm not betting the under, Dave. Whatever you ask me, I'm betting the
Over, baby.
because no, Jarvis, we know that's what he is. He's a high volume guy. So just like if I had to pick between it, I'm going to say they're going to throw to him because that's just who he is.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Nick Chubb, Chris. 18 for 73 last week was the projection going into the Bengals game. More or less, could you ever say less for Nick Chubb than 73 yards?
Go over. Go over. Go ahead, sell your house, take all that money, put it on Nick Chubb in the over.
Well, that's not the projection for this week, so that's just hold off for a sec. Don't quite sell that house yet. Nick, Browns.
I'm over too.
You're going over,
That's crazy. He's up for that FedEx ground player of the week where they give the best running back award. Nick Chubb's up for that this week. We know who he is. He's going to have another big week.
He's on pace for almost 1,500 yards, just like he was last year. Over under on that's 1275, by the way. I think you hit the over on that.
But barely.
Yeah,
that's right there. That's
you know what he'll do. We'll bet the over on that 1275.5. He will rush for 1277, and then at the last play of the game, he'll lose like 3 yards. Just like he did last year to go under 1,500.
He'll go to 1275. You know, it's funny when you have numbers like that that's that high. You're talking about rushing yards for the entire season, and they still put the hook on it, the 0.5. I love that.
Oh,
yeah.
That's just degenerate right there when you put a hook on 1275.
So
that's going to be tough though, because with Kareem too, they're going to use him a lot in the passing game.
Yeah,
and I know this is just rushing yards, but Kareem's a threat to kind of take some of the spotlight away from Chubb.
That's true. He looked phenomenal. He averaged like over 8 yards a carry.
And it was sick what they did. I don't know if this happened by accident and Stefanski was just going with the hot guy that was Nick Chubb, but it was so sick that they saved Kareem Hunt for the end. And we put him in there with some fresh legs and he just torched that Bengals defense. I almost hope that was by design. And if it wasn't, I hope that gets put into the design for this upcoming week because that's a seamless plan in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris.
Dave, just like Hugh was saying,
Mac
Metcalf. Right there. Or Mac and Biner. Mac and Metcalf later on.
Yeah, seriously.
More Metcalf up the middle. But yeah, Mac and Biner. It's the same thing. And yes, we are old enough to remember him. Nick is not. But
no, well, friend of the show, though. Friend of the show. So Nick does know him. Chris, you mentioned Baker Mayfield. Give me a projection on yards. Washington gave up 286 to Kyler Murray. How many do you think he's going to throw for? You said over the 240-ish mark.
So you're just begging the 300, right? That's really the question is, do we think he's going to hit 300?
Nick thinks he's having a big week.
He is. I mean, Nick's got him set up for 450, so
easy.
I mean, a mere 300 seems easily achievable. So I'll go for it. Why not? We're going to have Chubb. We're going to have Hunt, both over 100 yards. We're going to have Baker over 300 yards. Man, we are going to set some records in this ball game that you haven't seen since the greatest show on turf. Why not? Over 300 for Baker.
Wow. All right, this is the week we win the bet. Just stay tuned. We'll get that out. Presented by MyBookie. Go check them out. Use promo code BIGPLAY and double that first deposit. All right, we are quickly going to do a Stump the Flog. We've been waiting for Nick for this one. We're going Cleveland Browns, but we're going kind of old school Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, see, this makes me nervous. This makes me feel like I'm being set up to fail here.
No, you're not. Let me hit
an encyclopedia of this stuff. I'm in trouble.
Let me dim the music, or not dim the music. Let me dim the lights, get the music going.
Music too. Dim that music.
I guess it is dimmed. Hold on.
Are you hearing music in your head right now? Because if you are, that's trouble. I would go ahead and dim it if you are. There you go.
There you go. Now you should be hearing it.
Oh, I think I have an intro for this. Hold on. Here we go. There it is. Stump the Flog. All right. This week, we are going Browns old to new. Name every Browns quarterback since 1999.
Oh, since 99. Okay.
Yep, since 99. So, Chris,
can I write them down as we name them?
You can write them down. Yes. Yep. No cheating though.
Okay, that's fine. So I go first.
Yeah. Let me hold on one sec. Let me get the official list here.
Now, what's nice is I have the advantage. Every year, I do the advent calendar. on Twitter
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
with every single Brown starting quarterback. Now, I didn't do it last year because I'm assuming Baker is going to end it for a while, being our franchise quarterback, and I'm trying not to go back on that mojo, but I have done that in the past.
I believe my bookie has you favored in this one, Chris. Minus 200, Chris.
There you
Wow.
go.
All right, Chris, kick it off.
Tim Couch.
Correct.
All right, I'll go a little bit left on you guys here.
Okay.
Give me Luke McCown.
Nice.
Ooh, correct.
I'll go Josh McCown.
There you go. Correct.
I'll go Jason Campbell.
Oh, correct and elite.
Yes. I'll go Spurgeon Wynn.
Correct.
I'll go Charlie Fry, staying in the MAC.
There you go. Well done. Correct.
I will go. Oh, who should I go with? Let's go with Johnny Manziel.
Correct.
I'll go with Brian Hoyer.
Hoya!
Correct.
Roman Burgers.
And Anderson Verja.
I will go with RG3.
Correct.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I'll go with Deshaun Kaiser.
No.
I was there as
Kaiser.
that.
Oh, God.
I was there as that ball went right through
Corey Coleman's
his
hands.
hands.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Corey Coleman's hands in Heinz Field.
Correct.
I'll go with Brady Quinn.
Correct.
All right.
I need music.
I'll go with Baker. Baker Mayfield.
Who?
Correct.
I'll go with Brandon Whedon.
Correct.
Let me get some Ty Detmer action.
Oh, God. That was nice.
Well done. Correct.
God. What the heck? Oregon Duck, whose name is escaping me.
10 seconds. The bright lights
Oh,
are
I've
on.
got plenty. And I can't think of any
You've
off
got
the top
this.
of my head all of a sudden.
Uh-oh.
Anderson. Derek Anderson.
Oh, Agent DA right
Correct.
out from underneath me.
Gosh, that took me too long.
All right, give me. I'm blanking on his first name. Kelly. Give me Kelly Holcomb, baby.
Nice.
Kelly Holcomb.
Bruce Gradkowski.
Correct.
That's a good one, man. That's out there.
That's a great one.
Do we have Brady Quinn? Do we have Brady
Yeah,
Quinn?
We do have
Yes.
Brady Quinn. Off the board.
All right, I'll go with Jeff Garcia.
Yes.
Stay with small.
Well done. Correct. You're missing a big one.
Missing a big one? Did I say Brandon Whedon?
Yeah, you did. He's not a big one.
He wasn't a big
He was an
one.
old one.
He was tall.
Oh, gosh. Was the Miami quarterback, the U,
Yep.
against Ohio State.
National championship.
National championship game. Oh, man, and I can't come up with it.
This has to be 10 seconds.
Does Josh Cribbs count?
No.
No.
He was a quarterback for
No,
us.
but think back up. Think back up. You have 10 seconds.
Oh, God. Kelly Holcomb. Did we already say him?
Yeah, Nick said
Yeah,
Kelly
I got
Holcomb.
Big Kelly.
5 seconds.
Oh gosh, I just had John Dorsey. Dorsey.
Not John
His
Dorsey.
last name's Dorsey.
What's
It's
his name?
Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey.
Correct.
Woo!
At the last second. That was good. Nick, the pressure is on.
It is on. Oh, and I thought of another really out there one. Give me Seneca Wallace.
Yes,
Nice.
Holmgren's boy. Correct.
How about Colt? Pew pew pew. McCoy.
I was going to say, look around your room for the book.
Yeah.
Correct.
How about, hey, you guys got to trust me on this one.
All right.
No.
Cody Kessler.
Oh, the commander Cody Kessler.
Correct.
Dang it. Dang it. Dang it.
We're running low. Not really, but it's
This
a
is
long
so
list.
sad.
It's a long list.
man. Oh my gosh. Who is the guy we traded? We just had him from Denver. An 8. Oh man.
You talking super tall guy?
Brock Osweiler. There it is.
Did he start a game? I don't think Osweiler ever started a game.
Hold on.
Because that's the Sashi-ism. That's Sashi got the
That's
Nick
true.
Chubb pick for Brock
Did we say?
Osweiler. Who's
We said start. We did say start. He did not start a game. We just traded for him. That is incorrect.
Hey now. And I still had
that's
Dilfer
crap.
Dimes in my back pocket.
Oh, that's crap.
Nick is our winner.
Brock Osweiler. How many did we get through? We got through 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12.
Hold
The
on.
Brockett check.
I need a round of applause for that. That was
We had
good.
about 20
You guys did
quarterbacks
well.
that we named off. So
Let's see. Who did you guys miss? Kevin Hogan.
yeah,
Kevin Hogan. Loved
Who
Kevin
could
Hogan.
forget?
that one wasn't coming.
Hogan's
Did
Heroes.
someone say Tim Couch?
I did. That
Okay,
was my
all right.
first.
I was multitasking. Austin Davis.
Oh yeah,
Remember
we
him?
signed him to
Oh,
like
yeah.
some big money.
Like this,
too.
he could be
Yeah.
the answer. He could be the
Stupid
answer.
money, and everybody's like, "Why did we just sign him to an extension?"
Did you guys say
Wasn't he a
Jake
UFC
Delhomme?
guy?
Wait, which one? Austin? I don't remember where he went. I can't remember.
I'll get on that. We
No,
didn't
it was a
say
smaller
Delhomme,
school.
though.
yeah,
I
you
thought.
missed Jake Delhomme.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
money signing by the Cleveland Browns. And Thad Lewis. Loved Thad Lewis.
Oh, did we not say Thaddy Lou?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so either.
We got both the McCowns. Doug Peterson.
Oh yeah, head coach now.
Wow.
Connor Shaw.
Connor Shaw. There you go.
I would have
South
never gotten that in a
Carolina.
million years.
South Carolina.
I suppressed that memory.
And that was it.
Wow,
almost
we
had
actually
them
did
all.
really well.
Yeah, you almost had all of them.
Yeah.
Well done.
Nice job, Nick. That was well earned. If I have to go to Bruce Krakowski,
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right, quick bold prediction.
and Brock Osweiler is what tripped me up.
I feel
could
like
come
that-
up with that name,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that tripped me up. That doesn't feel right, man.
The Brockett chip.
Yeah,
I love that I have
Let
the
you
list
down.
and Nick
Brock of
Nick
ages.
corrected me.
the hunt for Red Brocktober.
That's right. Bold predictions.
Bold predictions.
All right, I'm going to go Browns Sunday. My bold prediction, I think Baker Mayfield throws for 325 yards. 325.
That's going high.
That is very high. That's going to be well over the projection. I think he's going to do it. I think Nick's right. I think we're going to air it out. Although they should just run it. Nick, bold prediction.
All right, Dave. I got Ohio State on Ohio State crime right here. I have a Denzel Ward pick 6 of Dwayne Haskins this week.
Ooh-wee.
That's good.
That's bold.
that is
That's
good.
bold.
And
That's
specific.
very good.
Very good.
Fellow Nordonia alum. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm going to take us back to baseball. I'm going to say
Okay.
the Cleveland Indians, we just beat the White Sox tonight, that we are going to sweep the White Sox. How about that? That would be a
That
statement.
is very bold.
That is very bold, and that is a statement. Go Indians.
And I feel like if we do that, is there a chance we don't play them?
I would
Or
think
is
so. I
that
think we would
locked
bump
up?
up that one spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they bump back, one or the other.
We find we have their number in the regular season, and then we just go play someone else and lose.
Yeah, what if that happened?
That would be very
Like,
Cleveland.
no,
That would be
we
very
want to play
Cleveland.
these guys now. We just kick their ass. That would be a very Cleveland way to go into the playoffs.
Yes,
and
yes,
have
it
us
would.
Then exit.
All right, thanks for tuning in to the Big Play Reflog Show. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to Hugh Hewitt, fellow Browns fan. Fantastic stuff there. Huge shout out to Shaq News, my bookie. Thanks for supporting the crew here. And we will see you guys after a Browns victory against the Washington football team and as the Cleveland Indians head to the playoffs. We'll see you next week, Monday, 9 p.m. And quick shout out to Nick. Go check him out Wednesday, 8 p.m. Nick, who do you have on the show?
Yeah, we're expecting big things this Wednesday. We're welcoming it on Hard Knocks superstar and former Browns offensive line coach, Bob Wiley. Also Maserati owner, also certified pilot, allegedly. We're going to get into all that stuff with Bob Wiley on Wednesday at 8 o'clock at Padone My Take on Twitter.
There you
Confirmed Indians magic number down to 1.
go. Woo-wee.
You love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. Should probably have the music ready. Hold on. Chris, sing it. We need Gab here to just
where's
sing
Gab?
for us. See you guys.
You guys don't want me singing, so.
No.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
See you guys.
What is
Thanks to
wrong?
everyone in the comments, by the way.
I don't know. I ain't no goddamn doctor.
Cut back my job. Into the